Well, today's impeachment day in the House, and ordinarily I wouldn't talk about this because the topic is going to get beat to death. Both the MSM and the alternative press are going to be all over this, I'm sure. But I think that there's something that I want to get on the record about before this goes down, and that is the possibility of widespread Republican support for the impeachment of Donald Trump. So far, Liz Cheney, daughter of Dick, who is currently the sole U.S. representative from Wyoming, a seat that was once held by her dastardly father, she said publicly, essentially, Trump bad, Trump horrible, and she's been against Trump for his whole term, but saying, oh, we gotta impeach him now because he's terrible and he's kills people and blah blah blah, whatever nonsense. I mean, you can't take that. You obviously can't take any of that seriously coming from a Cheney. She'll never apologize or condemn her father for the blood he has on his hands. And so if this were just isolated to Liz Cheney, that'd be one thing. But we're hearing now that, and she is a member of the House leadership, or the House Republican leadership. So she is one of the higher ups there, but you could say, well, that's because of her pedigree of being from an important family. She doesn't necessarily speak for the Republican leadership at large. But we're hearing now reports that Mitch McConnell is quite pleased with the whole impeachment thing, and that he may even vote to impeach himself, and that if McConnell goes along with this, you can bet that there probably will be enough votes to impeach Trump from the Republicans in the Senate to actually convict him. Keep in mind, you need a 2/3 majority in the Senate to convict a president of whatever their impeachable offenses were and to remove them from office. So you would need McConnell and 12 other Republicans. Or no, I'm sorry, there aren't that many Democrats in the Senate. I think it might be 50-50 now or whatever. So that would mean that they need 17 Republicans. So Mitch McConnell plus 16. And what would be the purpose of this in the eyes of the Republican leadership? It would be to try and excise Trump and distance themselves from him because he's toxic. And they want to make it clear that, no, we don't support Trump, he's a bad guy, so that this is not held against them in the future. Now, were this to actually occur, were Trump to be impeached and removed from office, that would be a whole new level of escalation in the political unrest in this country, because it would be a slap in the face to the Republican base and to all their voters. The Republican voters who might think to themselves, oh gee, well, okay, we couldn't keep Trump this time, but I guess we'll just try again in another 2 to 4 years. We'll just elect more Republicans next time. If the Republicans totally abandon them and slap them in the face like that and repudiate them in such a way as impeaching Trump and removing him from office, a lot of people will be completely done with the Republicans, and they will feel completely isolated politically. They will feel like there absolutely is not even one party in Washington that somewhat represents them. They will feel like both parties in Washington regard them as their enemy, which is 100% true. It's just that a lot of these, the way that these politicians keep getting elected is they convince people that, hey, even if you don't think that I'm great, the other guy's your enemy, not me. I might not be your best friend, but at least I don't want to destroy your life like that other guy does. But if ordinary Americans feel like both parties absolutely do want to ruin them and to work against them, then that's going to be it for them. They're going to completely disengage from the two-party political system. Now, that could mean multiple things. That could mean a third party, sure. It could just mean that there's going to be a lot of primary challenges to sitting Republicans. But I think that the biggest impact that this will have will just be to demoralize people, and it will make them lose faith in the political system. I think it will further delegitimize the U.S. Congress. And, somebody I have to give some credit to is Tim Scott of South Carolina. He, I can assure you, in his heart of hearts, would absolutely love to see Trump impeached. He would love to get rid of Trump, hates Trump, but he is going to vote against impeaching or convicting him because he thinks, rightly, that this is going to just ratchet up tension in this country and make and divide people more and more, and needlessly antagonize Trump's voters and the Republican base just a few days before Trump is going to be out of office anyway. And so there is no practical purpose behind this impeachment. All it is a way of punishing Trump voters. And so what this will do is it will increase sympathies for the people who walked into the Capitol and decided to just, wave flags through Statuary Hall while staying inside the velvet ropes. Those people who your average Trump supporter is not upset with anyway, they're going to identify with them even more. Actually, they're going to identify with the people who smashed windows and things even more if Congress goes through with this. And that, to me, is a good thing. I, of course, don't want people to do anything violent, but I mean, really, the level of violence last Wednesday was, nothing compared to a BLM riot. Sure, they smashed some windows and they got unruly, and I guess they hit a cop in the head. That's not a nice thing to do. You should avoid doing stuff like that, and you would have been fine just staying outside the Capitol, I think. The people who were let in the building by the cops, they should have gone through, but the guys who forced their way in, no reason to do that, in my opinion. But I absolutely support the degradation of the legitimacy of the U.S. Congress, whether that's Congress doing it themselves or whether it's other people degrading Congress, by sitting at Nancy Pelosi's desk and taking funny pictures. And so if Washington puts up a united front against Trump and totally repudiates the 75 million people who voted for him, that will, I think, do more than anything in the last year to increase secessionist sympathies. Because then it will be clear that Washington itself, this capital that, we've all been trying to capture politically through every election, we just want to gain control of Washington so that we can go back to being, good old America. If it becomes clear that even, the Republicans up there are totally 100% against, the common man and cannot be reasoned with, then people are going to lose all hope in regaining Washington, which is a good thing, because that's a dumb goal anyway. Because what's the best case scenario then? If you win, let's say that the Trump people got 100% total control of Washington, well then the other half of the country, the left, their heads are going to explode. They're going to go nuts. They're going to feel like they're dominated by people who they hate. So the answer is for Washington to just be abandoned, for all those institutions to be dismantled. So I strongly encourage Mitch McConnell to do everything he can. I know he can if he wants to, because people are saying, there's not enough time for to hold a trial in the Senate. Trump will be out of office by the time that anything comes about, so it won't matter. Which, there is a case to be made that even if the Trump is out of office before the trial's done, they're going to try and keep going forward anyway, because part of this impeachment is that Trump can't run again ever. But frankly, I don't think it would be legal to impeach him if he's not in office. That would be absurd, but I guess they could try and do it anyway. But hopefully, what I want to see happen is I want McConnell to do everything in his power, which I know he can't, because he can do almost anything. He knows how the Senate works, to expedite this and to bring it to a vote as quickly as possible. Make the trial as short as possible, make it a Stalinist show trial, and then vote to impeach and remove him from office, make Mike Pence the president for a day and a half or however much time is left, and totally set your party ablaze. So with that said, if you gained anything of value out of this video, I'd appreciate you clicking that like button and sharing this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, because I do upload every day and I'd hate to have you miss one. So I'll see folks back here tomorrow.